Well, well, well. Everything I complained about yesterday in yesterday's episode, they fixed today in today's episode. We had a day off from Danny, which I think was much needed. A rest from that character that's always on a 10. Did miss her a little bit, but we could use some episodes without her for sure. But more importantly, the A storyline for Wednesday's episode was the Leslie and Eva scheming. This mother daughter duo of schemers, I am loving it. That is the thing I'm most invested in going forward because both actresses are great. But also, I just love a story where we're going to have a mother and a daughter scheming. Where it stands, Eva does not know that Leslie was responsible for running down Laura. She had questions today because the investigation into who ran down Laura is happening. Eva overheard that when she was working for Nicole when Jacob came to visit. We'll get more into Eva working here shortly. But yeah, she questioned Leslie because she knows Leslie has rented motorcycles before. Leslie said, "That's crazy. How dare you accuse me?" Even though she is responsible. But I like that they're writing Eva as, yeah, she's going along with her mother's schemes because she wants to meet her father and take some money from her father. Her father. And that's the other thing with the story. I don't know if Leslie is lying or not, where this is concerned, if Ted is really Eva's father. I'm certain maybe they knew each other in the past. The time frame is not making sense though, because if she got pregnant with Eva and she had, at the time she said when she got pregnant, that's when Nicole first had Ted wrapped around her finger, that would make Eva older than Martin, which she is not. So the whole ages thing with all these children is making this story from Leslie seem questionable. She had to have had an affair with Ted, if she's telling the truth anyway. She had to have had an affair with Ted for Eva to be as young as she is, with the way she's telling the story. We know Ted has a brother. If that's a twin brother, that could play into the story, which I don't know if I want that to happen, but we'll see. Is Leslie telling the truth because she just wants to get money for her and her daughter? Or is she lying because she wants to get money for her and her daughter? Either way, though, I'm still loving the scheming, like I said. And today, Eva got to interact more with Nicole. She was trying to get off to a good start as Nicole's temporary assistant. But when Kat came along, it did not go very well for Eva. Kat was super cunty today compared to how we've seen her in past episodes. When she did walk in the office, it was when Eva was going through some of Nicole's files, or trying to, looking for a key in Nicole's desk. And she did kind of catch Eva snooping, which I think is maybe what set her off. But I thought Kat was still being extra rude. And I've seen some people online being like, yes, queen, or whatever, with Kat being a cunt. But it's hard for me to like a spoiled brat character. So, plus I'm already hardcore team Leslie and Eva. So Kat today just annoyed me. But it did set up a good rivalry for possible half siblings in Kat and Eva. Which is why I do want Leslie to be telling the truth. Because I think Kat and Eva being siblings can set up some really good future dynamics. And the story overall has a lot of good future dynamics with the character of Eva. And the way she's being written, I think, is great. Because she's not as hardcore as Leslie, like I said earlier, because she doesn't know Leslie's responsible for taking out Laura. But she just wants to meet her father. And later she did meet Ted for the first time, and she was emotional about it. It did shake her up. They shook hands. That's when Jacob came to visit, though, so their first meeting was kind of cut short. But yeah, I really enjoyed all of the Eva scenes today. Some of my favorites so far since the show's been on. Today may have been a more low-key drama day because Danny wasn't causing havoc. But this is the kind of daily soap opera that I like. Developing the relationships that we're going to see going forward. And I think the one that stood out the most was the dynamics between Kat and Eva, because Kat was being extra rude. She got to see that Kat is a spoiled brat, like Leslie was saying. And then Kat went on to try and warn her mother that Eva was shady and sus, and Nicole wasn't really having it. Kat said that Nicole's going to regret bringing that woman into their lives, and she might be correct about that. So that little potential half-sibling rivalry, one of the things I'm really looking forward to going forward, but I am Team Eva. If Kat's going to be this, cold bitch going forward, when Kat gets something's eventually going to happen to Kat, and you ain't going to find me being sympathetic when that happens to Kat on this show. The other story today, we got to see more Martin and Smitty. Still not working for me, really, overall. It's kind of another problem I have with the ages. We have Smitty talking about how he and Martin are going to be empty nesters soon. And Smitty and Martin look like they barely should have young children, let alone teenagers. It's a very odd thing that they did with these two characters, just overall. There's a lot of tension between them as a couple, so maybe I can give them more of a pass for their chemistry being a little funky, because as a couple, they are supposed to be having marriage problems. Smitty's wanting to get back into his old line of work. He hasn't told Martin the truth yet, but Martin did overhear Smitty talking to Nicole in the episode. And then Martin comes out and tells his mother, Nicole, that he wants to make her run for president. With what charisma? Martin's going to need way more charisma if he's going to run for president. But yeah, I'm still not sold on the Martin and Smitty story, but they did have more airtime today, which I complained about yesterday a little bit. So there's that. We also got to see more Vanessa today and her husband, Doug, where Vanessa was certainly getting a workout with Diego. They started kissing, and then they got a workout, all right. What's what we were left to believe, that they went and had some afternoon delight. As for Doug, he seems to have a bad gambling problem, and he's afraid to ask Vanessa for money, even though Vanessa's family has money. But it was good to see this get some screen time. They've dropped little scenes here and there over the past 7 episodes, and they've made Ashley be the token white so far. It was, I miss Danny a little bit, her first episode not being on. Didn't miss Ashley and Andre as much as I miss Danny. We needed a rest from Danny for sure. And I actually do like Andre sometimes. But Ashley is not the token white that interests me at all. That's Vanessa. So if we're going to have a token white on the show, I'd much rather watch Vanessa's antics because she's actually entertaining. Ashley is boring. And I don't think she's going to go away anytime soon. They see a lot in Ashley as their token white. But if that's to appeal to us whites, and I'm talking here as a white, Ashley doesn't do it. I'll give it more time, though. It's still very, very early. They can, unravel Ashley's personality, I'm sure. I think she does probably have more going on under the surface, but that love triangle isn't going to do it for me. As I said yesterday, was glad that wasn't on today either. I think that was really all the main things that went on today that I wanted to talk about. Glad to see Eva and Leslie as the A story today. I think overall, what I'm really feeling from the show is that I want the Duprees to be knocked down several pegs over the rest of the year. We saw that press conference yesterday that I thought was a fail, an awkward situation, but the Duprees are supposed to be this rich family that they run the place. So it'll be nice to see them knock down a few pigs, because outside of Naomi and her sister Chelsea, the rest of the family isn't that likable. I mean, I like Danny for being entertaining, but I really do want to see Leslie and Eva cause some havoc to the family, because it would be nice to see Martin and Kat and Ted and Nicole feel some sort of pain, because they are kind of all, Nicole not so much, but they all are snooty, and it's always fun to see snooty people get some shit. So I really do hope Leslie and Eva are successful to some extent. And if not them, if I have to root for Bill and Haley to cause havoc to the Dupree family, I will do that.